Here's an old guitar that a friend of mine, David Deal, gave me. It belonged to his sister, and his sister recently passed away. David's in his 80s, and she was in her mid-80s, I believe, when she died. He said that his sister bought this guitar in Chattanooga, new in the early 50s. And it's just an old cheap guitar. It says Harmony Master on it, and it's had a painted fingerboard on it. It's an old Archtop. It's a rough old guitar. It's just doesn't have much value at all. This clip shows us with the guitar in our little jig that we used to remove the neck, and we got our little heaters, foam cutting heaters that we use, and we're just kind of wiggling this neck around, working with it and trying to get it out of the body. Here we are with a little saw, that vibrating saw that we use, and we're going around the edges of it, just cutting the main center part of the top out of it. This top was solid maple, not laminated. It wasn't plywood. It was solid maple, and it had been heated and bent to shape, I guess. As you probably could see from that previous clip, all the braces, all the top braces, there were just two braces in the top, and they were both had fallen out of the top, and there's three little old back braces, little thin back braces in it, and two of them were just loose and ready to come out, so we just eliminated the two back braces. The next thing we did was to clean this inside of this guitar up, and ran some fish glue around the edge where the back and the sides meet, and cleaned out up under the neck block and the tail block, and re-glued those back to their original position. Then we got out our little travel iron and heated up this fingerboard, and slowly worked the putty knives in it and removed it from the neck. This neck did not have a truss rod in it originally, so we wanted to put a two-way truss rod in it. As you can see, the neck came off pretty cleanly, and the fingerboard appeared to be maple, and the neck is poplar. Had a old green color on half of it and a sapwood color on the other. Here's a shot of the little jig we made to cut a slot in the neck for an adjustable two-way truss rod. Here are a couple of shots of the truss rod after we got the slot cut in the neck and got it put down in there and fitted in. We've got a bunch of fingerboards that we got from a friend of ours named Larry Mathis a while back, and they came from Martin, and so we dug one of these old fingerboards out that already had frets in it and fitted in the neck. The scale is a little bit longer on the Martins, but we adjusted everything to make it work. We reshaped the neck, rounded it in more of a round shape. It was a triangle shaped neck and big and bulky, and we had some templates that we made off of some Martin necks, and we shaped it in close to what a Martin neck is, and made it the neck the same width as the Martin would be. Here are some shots of the fingerboard after we got it fitted onto the neck, and the neck all shaped to fit the fingerboard, and we ended up having to cut the end off this fingerboard in the final product. This original neck just had 19 frets in it, so the way it worked out, we had to take one of the frets off of it and cut the fingerboard off a little shorter. Here's a clip that shows the top we're going to use in this guitar, and it's one that I've had laying around in my shop for a while. I got it in a batch of stuff I bought a few years back, and it came from Martin, and it was a bunch of rejects and so forth, and so it already had the sound hole and the rosette in it, and we adapted it to fit in this body. It was a little different. We had to make some changes, but we laid out the braces on it and got it ready to put in this body. We made this little jig with a turnbuckle we had laying around here to hold the neck block and the tail block in place while we fitted the top to it. Here are 3 shots of us gluing the braces in the top of the thing, and shows where our braces are, and also we got a shot of us gluing the bridge plate in the body. It's a 100,000th inch piece of maple. This shows the sides and back and sides ready to glue the top into it. I had to put some tape and paper around to keep glue from getting inside of it, and I put a little note inside the top what I did. Here are 2 pictures of us gluing the top on. Had all of our clamps on it, gluing it down. Here we are cleaning up the fingerboard. Somebody had put some black dye or something on it, and we had to clean that up and make the rosewood look like it should. Here's a shot of the fingerboard after we got it cleaned up, and we polished the frets and trued them up and cleaned them up and got them ready to play. Here's a shot of the neck after we put some stain on it and a little finish on it. And you can see that we didn't finish all the neck. We just wanted to keep it as original as we could. Here's the binding being applied. We used fish glue to glue this binding on with, and it doesn't affect the finish on the previous finish on it. And of course we sanded the back of it to ensure that it stuck good, and I believe it worked out all right. We put some amber stain on this top and shaded it around the edges with this little dark brown sunburst finish, and tried to make it look as much like the original as we could. We didn't want to finish the whole guitar. Here's a shot of the neck being glued back into the top of the body, and we had to do quite a bit of fitting and trimming on the heel of the neck to get it fitting like that, but we worked it out. We reamed out the holes to fit some modern sealed tuners, and we made us a truss rod cover, a Harmony style truss rod shape, out of some thin plastic, and installed it, and we made a new nut for it, a bone nut, and polished it up. And this last shot shows the peg head area after we got all that stuff done to it. We fitted and glued a Martin style rosewood bridge on this top. Came out in a little different place than a traditional Martin would, but we made it where the thing would note out right. Here's the finished product. Kind of dulled the finish down on it where it doesn't look so bad or so good. We're trying to make this thing look like an old guitar, which it was, and we don't want to refinish it and get all the gouges and places off of it. It's just an old guitar, and we're fixing it up. We're really just fixing it up just 'cause we can. There's a little bit of dust around on it, but still got all the battle scars on it. As I told you earlier, I fixed this up for a good buddy of mine. He had about 3 sisters, and he took care of all of them after they got old and get in a nursing home, and took them food and cared for them and visited them. And I think he's the only one left of his brothers and sisters now. I just wanted to do this for him. He got 4 little old great-grandkids, and maybe one of them will grow up and play this guitar. That would make me happy. We're going to try to demonstrate the sound of this little harmony guitar that we converted. It's a Harmony Master. It was an Archtop guitar, had the F holes in it, and we took the top out of it and did a major refurbish on it. And I just felt like I ought to show you what it sounds like. You don't know what it sounded like before, but we're going to do it anyhow. Well, it snowed the night before, and it was frozen on the ground. We didn't have a car, and we lived 7 miles to town. I can hear my daddy's voice so many years ago. Now don't forget that coffee, Billy Joe. Me and Walter went out on a hill and we cut some wood, burning in that old warm morning stove. Sure smelled good. Daddy couldn't get work then, and I was just a child. Seemed like God was on vacation for a while. Mama needs her medicine, she's got that real bad cough. A check comes in on Monday, tell old Sam we'll pay him off. And you can catch a ride when you get to the Blacktop Road. Now don't forget that coffee, Billy Joe. Pay attention, boy. Don't forget that coffee, Billy Joe. That's the way she sounds.